Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Ryan, I am playing Thrasta Elves in Modern. Elves is a deck that is almost as old as Modern. I believe Heritage Druid predates the Modern format as a Magic card, and that is the card that makes the Elves deck the Elves deck. So this has always existed in some form or another, or at least been legal in the format, whether the metagame allows for it or not. It has won some major tournaments. I believe a Starseed Invitational was won by Elves at one point. And it comes and goes, but it's always there. Ryan specifically wanted to see Thrasta Tempest Roar in this deck. This is one of the green storm cards from Modern Horizons 2. It's a 12 mana, 7/7 trample haste with trample over planeswalkers. So if it hits a planeswalker, it deals excess damage to the planeswalker's controller. It costs 3 less to cast for each other spell cast this turn, which is basically Storm minus 3 mana. That's just how they have to template that. And if it entered the battlefield this turn, it has hexproof. The appeal of Thrasta, specifically in this Elves shell, is that Elves are cheap and they make mana. And with Heritage Druid, they kind of make mana with haste. Like if you go turn 1 Llanowar Elf, turn 2 Heritage Druid, Elvish Mystic, then Thrasta costs 6. You can tap Heritage Druid for 3 mana, play another Elf, then Thrasta costs 4. Okay, turn 2 Thrasta is going to be pretty tough to pull off. It could be done with some Nettle Sentinels, but turn 3 Thrasta seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do. Mostly it's just a big 7/7 surprise idiot out of a deck that mostly tries to go wide, and this is a way to go tall. I've added Manamorphose just as a way to build Storm to help with Thrasta. Okay, how about turn 1 Llanowar Elf, turn 2 land Manamorphose, Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, tap those, play another Elf, and then you have a 2 mana Thrasta. All right, Manamorphose can facilitate turn 2 Thrasta with a nut draw. What you gain is this gigantic monster that can end a game quickly. You gain a haste creature to pressure planeswalkers. Teferi Time Raveler is a Modern staple, of course. Decks that play fast and loose with their life total, like Death Shadow, you can just come in on. Decks that try to control your creatures with smaller sweepers, like anything short of an actual Wrath of God is not going to clean up Thrasta. It's just another angle the deck can go. To make room for the Thrastas and Manamorphoses, I basically had to cut the whole toolbox package. Like normally Elves will have like a Realm Walker or 2, a Reclamation Sage, a main deck Essence Warden, just like all these like little one-ofs. Elvish Champion is a popular one. Just all of these things that help address specific matchups. And I had to trim basically that entire package just for raw power. We do still have the Elf core of Elvish Warmaster, Elvish Archdruid, and Azuri, which help you go wide and help you get bigger. And then Warmaster and Azuri can actually win the game with your oodles of mana. I cut the Realm Walker because between Thrasta and Manamorphose gumming up the deck, there's significantly fewer Elves. I went lower on Collected Company because there's significantly fewer 3-drops. So this deck is fundamentally different than most Elves decks because Elves decks are generally Coco decks. They are generally Realm Walker decks. That's your source of card advantage. And we're going with a gigantic dinosaur instead, a Lightningosaurus. I left the 3 Chord of Callings there because the sideboard is still a toolbox. We've got a Phyrexian Revoker, here's the Realm Walker, a Klothys, a couple Essence Wardens, Rex Sage, Endurance, and 2 Magus of the Moon with 2 Blood Moon. That's what this 1 Stomping Ground is for. It's not for Metamorphose. This is a green card all on its own. But there's pretty heavy land hate coming out of the sideboard here. And that's the plan. I am not sure where Elves just at baseline stands in the modern format full of 4-color Blink and Is It Murktide and all of these horrifically powerful decks. And I'm not sure that Thrasta improves any of those matchups. But we're going to have fun exploring the age-old alliance of elves and dinosaurs. Let's jump in. I'm on the draw with the classic elves 1-lander, but I'm in. We keep these. This is an 18-land deck. You do rely on your creatures to make mana. Oh god. Arboreal Grazer is not the green mana creature mirror I wanted. Mishra's Bauble, Arboreal Grazer deck. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what this is. I'm going to get Basic Forest and play Llanowar Elves. There was a draft of this deck when I was brewing it up that had 4 Search for Tomorrow in it as well. That is just a card that can help get Thrasta into play, because you spend 1 mana and then 2 turns later, you effectively get 3 mana off it. You get like 4 mana, you get the Storm count, and then you also get the land. But that just diluted the actual elf business too much. Wasn't having it. Okay, bobbling on their own main phase. Interesting. Oh, targeting themselves. That makes perfect sense. Never mind. Yep. Deciding if they wanted to fetch or not. Okay, Tireless Tracker. What is this deck? Is this like some Titania thing? I don't know. We'll find out together. I'm on land. All right, no love there. It's all good. I can go Llanowar Elf, Elvish Mystic, and just hope that they don't have a sweeper. Heritage Druid definitely cast Thrasta next turn. This Tireless Tracker will be bigger than all my creatures very quickly. Even Thrasta. So I do have to figure out how to go wide here. Kraken Clues. Post-combat. Could have gotten extra damage there. Heritage Druid. Elvish Visionary. Okay. Time to do math. I don't think I have Thrasta here. I'm going to cast Elvish Visionary first. All right, land is a big hit. And then Elvish Visionary again. Elvish War Master. Okay. And I'll summon another Llanowar Elves. Or just all the way wide. Dead to Supreme Verdict. Can get and eat another clue immediately here. Yeah, this is the back half of Elves, where you draw 4 Llanowar Elves and no Druid or payoff. But that's okay. At least none of my elves have died yet. Like, these are the hands where if your opponent has Lightning Bolt on turn 1, you just lose. Because then you're not really developing. And they are. Wargate. Oh, this is the what is this thing? Tameshi. That's what's going on here. There he is. All right. So Tameshi can return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return Lotus Bloom from the graveyard to the battlefield when you bounce your land, and then you eventually cast Cultivator Colossus or some giant messed up thing. You can get 3 mana here or 2 mana for every land you have. There's Eladamri's Call. And then the Cultivator Colossus puts all of the lands back into play. Yeah. Dangerous. This deck is in my queue for down the road. I am going to be playing this on the channel, so enjoy that when it comes. Aren't you supposed to play Bounce Temple Garden there too? Because you get to put all of your lands back into play off Colossus. See how far they go. Get a lot of clues here. Lands do all come into play tapped. Tameshi can bounce another one and make another infinite mana. Yeah, there is 1 white floating, so you can bounce a land, get back Lotus Bloom. Lotus Bloom all your lands back up. If you have another Colossus, you can go again. I've seen this deck on paper. I haven't seen it in action. I'm actually very excited right now. And at the very least, you can crack a bunch of clues here and try to find another hit, but there's 11 cards in hand. I don't know how you miss. I guess we know like 5 of those cards or more are lands. You can't bounce the last land because Colossus dies. I guess that's why you didn't bounce the last one the first time. They knew what they were talking about. I'm glad I'm getting this lesson before I play this deck myself and don't know how to do anything. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh, there's so many lands. It's great. Go, go, go. I'm rooting for you. Multiple Urza Sagas just came into play. Yeah, with all these clue tokens, the constructs that come off these 3 Urza Sagas are going to immediately be just Omega lethal. Renegade Rallier. And return the Lotus Bloom again. Oh, another call. Are we going for another round of Colossusing? Just trying to figure out how this deck actually wins. Like, obviously, they're going to have just multiple 30-30 Colossuses in play, but do they have a win the game now button? Is there like a Craterhoof Behemoth or something that they go pay off with? They're now making blue mana, so there's something different going on now. This is kind of what I alluded to in the deck tech about the power level of Modern. I have a lot of creatures in play for turn 3, but my opponent is doing this. You get older, lower power versions of Modern. This would have been a pretty good start. Does this deck win with Thassa's Oracle? I just feel like if they cast another Colossus, they're risking danger with their deck size. So I'm sure they can easily math it out at this point. 10 cards left in the deck. 9, 8. You seem to have stopped at 8. There it is. Okay. Finale of Devastation gives all the creatures haste and etc. That was awesome. I'm very excited to play that deck now. All right, what do I do about that? Holy guacamole. I feel like this is a Blood Moon matchup. Like if they can't cast the things. Yeah, I don't really have removal in my deck in any traditional sense. I can revoke Tameshi. That actually does do something. Void Mirror doesn't help. I don't think Gust helps. I don't think Klothys helps. All right, I'm going to bring in these various moon effects. And sorry, Thrasta. I'm going to go a little skinnier on that. This is not a deck I'm going to beat with a 7/7, no matter how fast it comes out. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Do I just like cut the 3 Thrastas and some Manamorphoses? I mean, Manamorphose actually can help cast Magus and Blood Moon. Oh, I don't have to fetch the 1 of Stomping Ground. But I feel like I need to just go fast and wide against this deck and do the elf thing, which means I'm going to want Realm Walker in here as well. Yeah, I think I just need to prioritize the Stomping Ground. Elvish Visionary is a little slow, but it does increase density for Realm Walker. All right, let's go. I'm going to do it like this. On the play, my Stomping Ground is immediately present in the hand. I'm going to keep 2 lands. I got an elf. I can Archdruid. This is a pretty good looking elf hand. Get my Lawnmower Elf in there. Springleaf Drum. Okay. That's pretty cool with Arboreal Grazer, I suppose. I'm going to fetch another forest here rather than play Stomping Ground. Just get another basic setup. And next turn, I'm hoping to Coco and maybe hit my Magus of the Moon. A basic Island is pretty good. Goblin Engineer. Wow, this deck has all sorts of shit in it. I guess that gets the Lotus Bloom into the graveyard, which is where it needs to be. And now I kind of need Revoker. Well, I found Magus anyway. I can play Elvish Mystic. All of my elves are free right now. It's basically Gaia's Cradle in play. So 1-drops are free. And then I have 4, 5, 6 mana. 1 short of getting Magus. Am I dead this turn? If they have Tameshi, I do just lose, yeah. So I better... Does casting my dude even do anything? I think it does. Okay. I have Blood Moon in play now. Let's hope it's actually good. The Springleaf Drum gives them mana that they actually want. Drum can engineer into Lotus Bloom, get things going. This does turn off Urza Saga related business. I don't think I beat Tameshi here anyway, though. No, Tameshi just gets to go off all the same. God, this deck is so sick. Yeah, I don't actually know how Blood Moon interacts with what they're trying to do. Maybe it just doesn't, or maybe it's great. Unclear. Okay, they did go all the way in on lands this time. Does this die immediately? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. I'll take that. And they still get to make all these land drops, but they don't have the giant creature. And these lands coming into play, the Urza Saga will die as soon as... Wait. Yeah, as soon as that ability is off the stack. And yeah, it can still finale or something unlimited here. A Rallier can get back Bloom. Now they have 2 creatures that when they find the finale, they can rip. All right. I've seen enough. I believe that they can draw their deck here. GG's. That was really cool. Awesome deck. I don't know if I've seen Goblin Engineer in lists of this before. That was fucking sweet. On to the next round. I'm on the draw for round 2. I have another 1-lander with a Mana Elf. I'm going to keep it. This one has Manamorphose and Thrasta. Let's see if this deck has any legs at all. Uh-oh. Burn spells. Those tend to line up well against creatures. Oh, baby. Another Manamorphose. Please don't have Searing Blaze. Eidolon of the Great Revel. Well, that sucks ass. Elvish Warmaster. Well, time to commit to Manamorphosing. Nice Eidolon. Green, green. Cavern of Souls. I think I'm going to bail. All right, so Manamorphose. This creature currently costs 9. Manamorphose again, it'll cost 6. And yeah, I can't get where I want to go, so I'm going to play Cavern on Elf and play an Archdruid here. Yep, it's already taking 1 million from this Eidolon. I kind of wish they had Searing Blaze. Though I would have just passed the turn without a play if they Searing Blazed me, which is also horrendous. Riftbolt targeting my Archdruid. Okay. They're going the control route, which probably makes sense given the fact that I just put Manamorphose on the stack in my elf deck. You love to see the second Thrasta. Alright. I can Manamorphose to try to hit a land drop, or I can War Master. I think I have to War Master. And attack for 1. Kind of cheesing them under their own Eidolon, I think, is the only thing resembling a plan here. And even that's pretty bad. If I had drawn a land last turn, Collected Company could get me out of this game, but that is not what happened. They have 3 cards left in hand. 3 cards tend to deal 9 out of burn. That is just how burn works. I'm at 5. Oh, the second Eidolon. Horrendous. If I draw a land here and can Collected Company onto this double Eidolon board, there might be a chance. Come on, land. Oof. I can Coco for 1. Whenever 1 or more elves enter the battlefield under your control. All right, I don't have to cast them, so I can Coco for 1, get an elf and another elf. Or not Coco, Cord. You know what I meant. All right, passing the turn. They can cast 2 spells and still be alive. I can't unless they are 4 or more. I get 1 more spell. If they attack, I get 0. The Essence Warden in the main deck that I had to cut to make room for Thrasta would be pretty good here. But I might be able to cheese a win with Thrasta here. If they're attacking with both their jerks, I have to block them both. What? Nettle Sentinel trades with 1. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. X is 1. If I get Nettle Sentinel, that also brings a token. I can block both of these, trade with one of them. I could also just play a removal spell before blocks. I could also just take 2, but then I'm very dead. All right, yeah. I'll just make the blocks here. That does unlock their hand a little bit. They can play more spells now. All right, you're at 8. I'm at 2. Do you have a spell? Could be slow rolling me. All right. I can fetch to 1 and cast Collected Company. I'm gonna attack you for 2. And I'm gonna try to Coco in combat and hope that they don't have a card. Sunbaked Canyon. That makes me think that the card that was in their hand isn't a burn spell, but now they just drew another one. If their hand is 2 lands, we might be in this game. Alright, Coco, please don't whiff. I could cord to make sure I don't whiff, but I'm much more interested in company. Alright, they had a spell anyway. Alright, GG. Yeah, that Eidolon was rough, but that game did get kind of interesting. They did need to have a spell there, or else they were looking pretty dead. Yeah, the collected company would have hit Heritage Druid and Visionary. I think that might have been enough to get Thrasta into play next turn. I don't know. It doesn't matter now. Okay, these Essence Wardens are coming in. And Reclamation Sage can kill Eidolon. Lothus does gain life, but very slowly. Probably not interested in that. This is actually a pretty sweet Thrasta matchup. I don't know that I want 3 of them in the deck, but being able to get a 7/7 haste into play could really mess up an Eidolon situation for them. So, speaking of Eidolon situations, I think I have to cut some Metamorphoses. Yeah, this looks like a reasonable spread. Maybe I am just supposed to have Klothys in the deck. Just anything that gains life. If I just like randomly hit this off of a Coco and then get 1 trigger off it, it probably did more than it needs to. Okay, I'm gonna go like this. Okay, I can keep this one. I'm not gonna shock out Breeding Pool, or whatever that is, Stomping Ground. That's just not what I'm trying to do with my life here. I know there's a red card in my deck, and not a whole lot of ways to find red mana, but I will do without. Goblin Guide, here it comes. And Word of Calling on top of my deck. I can Archdruid here. I guess I have to Archdruid here. That's really the only defensible play. I'm sure they have a removal spell if they want it, but any removal they point at Archdruid is removal. That's not coming at my face. If I can find another land or untap with Archdruid, I'm interested in both of those. All right, Windswept Heath is here. I can just go the fuck off with my War Masters next turn. I'm gonna make them hit Archdruid. All right. Lava Spike my face and go. Wow. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. I'm gonna fetch Forest, play War Master, and then this taps for 3, and Nykthos taps for 4, so I actually am netting mana. So 3. I'm so bad at Nykthos math. I gotta figure this out real quick. I think Archdruid does more mana if I just go wide with War Master. Because I get an elf there, and I get an elf there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's more mana than I would have had otherwise. I can cord for... I can Visionary first and still cord for a lot. Archdruid can go in. If I cord on their turn, I can cord for 3 on their turn, which does generate 2 extra elves. Alright, yeah. That's more like it, doing elf-related business. I could cord for Essence Warden on their turn, gain 3 life, and untap with lethal, but I didn't think they were beating this board anyway. Cool. I like that. Oh, Pitchcasting Endurance can also build Storm for Thrasta. That's funny. Didn't occur to me until now. I'm not going to board it in just for that, but it's something that might come up in the league. I think this is the deck that I can submit, so I'm going to submit it. Oh, all right. I'm going to keep this. There's the Klothys. See if it's any good. Goblin Guide coming in hot over there. Found me a forest. You love to see it. Okay, forest. Elvish Mystic. Pass. Oh, they have the second land. They also have the Searing Blaze. Ah! Straight to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, Searing Blaze is a very difficult magic card to beat if you're a deck with any creatures in it at all. This Goblin Guy just delivering in my 18 land deck. I think I have to War Master here. I could get this Stomping Ground into play tap, but Klothys doesn't do anything for a full turn cycle, just really slow. I'm gonna War Master. Guess I could have offered Nettless Sentinel as a trade in combat, and maybe that gives Klothys time to do anything, but that leaves a mana unspent. Or no, it doesn't, because I would have played Stomping Ground tap. Not super hype on any of that. This attack will give me a lot of information. If Goblin Guy gets in, they're either betting that War Master is worth more than 2 damage. Oh, Heritage Druid revealed off the top. Lightning Helix, okay. The Swift Spear gets to attack regardless because any instant is a blowout. They have 2 cards in hand, 3 damage on board. I do have to address the board a little bit here. Unfortunately, 1 elf short of going off with Heritage Druid, which is, I'm certain, by design. I could go Sentinel, Druid, and then, or I could play Archdruid and just hope I'm alive next turn. Ugh. This is bad. And my only mana is a fetch land. If I fetch, the creatures put me to 5 by themselves. They have 3 cards in hand to finish me off. I think my only chance to win this game involves Elvish Archdruid, though, and just their hand is 3 lands. I will make it so with my sheer will. If I had another 1-drop elf, which if Thrasta and Clothis weren't in my deck, they might have been 1-drop elves. I could have gone elf, Archdruid, untap Nettle Sentinel, and then have a 2/2 and a 3/3 blocking, plus 2 more creatures in play. Which is obviously just a much better situation. They did crack Sunbaked Canyon in the upkeep, whenever this was, in the main phase. This puts me to 5. This attack, just heads up, puts me to 5. I'm going to block Monastery Swiftspear because I'm dead to a spell anyway. Skull Crack. Guess I technically would have been at 1 to that spell, but I don't think that game is coming together for me. Okay, Thrasta, it's your time to shine. Cavern on Elf. Nettle Sentinel. Heritage Druid. Then make 3 mana. I can Chord of Calling for... No, I can't. Alright, there's Thrasta. It's in there. And I guess I could have played Stomping Ground, tap this turn to set up for next turn. Gonna leave my giant blockers back and hope I get another turn. Bummer. Yeah, I was 1 mana short of courting for Essence Warden and then playing Thrasta. Another Goblin Guide. Alright, I'm at 1. And Lightning Helix. Alright, I was dead anyway. Sure. Just showing off with that Goblin Guide. Okay, that was kind of fun. That Searing Blaze knocked me out of the game. I think with 1 more elf throughout this game, I'm stable a turn earlier and Thrasta gets to work. And obviously, it's a deck full of removal spells. I'm not like complaining about variance or anything, but specifically Searing Blaze being able to both remove my mana creature and continue pushing damage was huge. Like if they had to Helix my Llanowar Elf on turn 1, that's a better deal for me because then at least they didn't go face and I would be at 3 right now. But yeah, Searing Blaze completely fucked up. On to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw, again, with another elf hand. I'm keeping it. This is a deck that heavily wants to be on the play, just pushing the advantage with the elves. And losing all these die rolls. Tough crowd. Also playing against Is It Murktide, just a flying tribal over there. I have to imagine this is the worst matchup in the format. They have a million spot removal spells, and all of their creatures fly. Just cannot block. I think I have to trade with this rag. I don't really want them to start gaining mana advantage off of me, even though it costs me mana to do that. It's fine. I can recover it. Elvish Visionary, let's go. I'm sandbagging the Cavern until they hold up mana. There's no days in this format. They can't force a negation anything in my deck. Kept their card with DRC. Steam Vents, second DRC, you got it. And I get to go Elvish Mystic, Heritage Druid, Archdruid here, and play Windswept Heath, which can get my Stomping Ground, which can make them think what that might be. because none of my red cards are relevant in this matchup. Another EI. God, the card's good. I played Delver at a paper tournament recently, like last weekend, and Expression Federation is so messed up. This card is preposterous to exist. If you couldn't hit lands off it, I think it would be reasonable, but you can, so it's unreasonable. They exiled an Unholy Heat. The first of many, I'm sure. Heating up my Archdruid, as you do. This is also the 4th card type, so the channelers are raging. Oh, they had 2. All right, yeah, just clean them out. There's nothing going on here that you need to worry about. I'm gonna get my Stomping Ground tapped. My red cards don't come into this matchup, so just like letting them wonder without actually giving them any information seems reasonable to me. Okay, I am dead in 2 turns here. Well, 1 of my turns, 2 of theirs. I'm gonna play Nykthos. I'm not gonna crack a fetch land. What can still even help me this game? I don't think there is anything. A 3rd channeler. Yep. And very dead on board. All right, Manamorphose. Set me free, big homie. Green, green. Oh, there is the Thrasta. Does it matter? I can get 3 green out of Nykthos here. Is that the same as just tapping my elves? Oh wait, I have mana in my pool. Duh. All right, so I have 3 green. Cavern on Dinosaur, and then I just die anyway. Do I show them the Thrasta? Do I want them thinking about it, or do I want them dead to it next game when they're not ready for it? All right, I'm not going to show them the Thrasta. It's not even lethal. Like 7, 8, 9, 10. Even if I could cast it without tapping any of my creatures, and they just didn't block any of my 1/1s with their 3/3, and have no removal or counterspell in their hand, they still win. Okay, Endurance comes in here. Klothys, if we get into kind of a grindy game, I think I want my Essence Wardens and Klothys. I can go thinner on Thrasta, which means I get to go thinner on Manamorphose. Azuri's really good. I don't know that any of the 1-drops are ever cuttable. Yeah, I think I just need to set up going wide against this deck with Realm Walker and Essence Warden. Like, drag the game out. Endurance can challenge DRCs. Yeah, I think that's all we got here. I'm leaving a couple Thrastas in there because I can still cast lots of spells, or my plan is to play to the mid game anyway. I can keep this one. It's kind of slow, but it's reliable, and it can fetch the red. I'm just gonna Cavern on Elf right now. Get my Nettle Sentinel in there. They have a bobble. They're bobbling themselves. Must have liked what they saw. And it's probably a removal spell if they shock in and pass like this. Oh yeah, the second Thrust is what I'm always looking for with my elf deck. 2 in the deck. They're both in the opener. Enjoy that. It's just good deck building. I'm going to take the shock here. No, I'm not. I'm lying. Fuck Klothys. It's not worth 2 damage to me. Not yet. We'll deal with it later. Elvish War Master, that's a good one. Okay, it's Consider. Yeah. I prefer that to Unholy Heat. They've been to Murktide, which means that they are already have one, probably. Fucking obviously. All right. There's 3 card types in the graveyard, and the land sitting in play, so I don't get to attack. Yep. Not going to fall for that one so easily. Can I get a Heritage Druid? Archdruid. Nope. Wrong Druid. A little bit stuck here. And they do have Lightning Bolt. Getting rid of Dress Down. Interesting. I guess Dress Down is kind of like Fog/Time Walk. Get your 3 damage in. I'm still on the market for a Heritage Druid deck. If you want to make that happen, I wouldn't be disappointed. Yeah, I left like 3 clunkers in the deck post-board, and they're all just in my hand as of turn 2. It's a tough ride here. Of course, you could build your deck without the clunkers in it. That's probably the real advice. All right, Heritage Druid. Cavern of Souls can help. I can jam Archdruid. I could also Cavern on God and just get to work with Klothys. That is... It basically gives up my Cavern, but it gives me a fighting chance here. which I otherwise don't really have. Okay, I'm going to attack for 2 and then Cavern on God. We'll find out soon how bad this colorless land is. There's Clothis. Can't be countered. Hope it's good. And I think they pretty clearly left up a counterspell this turn, unless they just flurry off burn spells right now. I expect, yeah, Archmage Charm, there it is. And if they just mash Murktide onto the stack, and they did mill one earlier, which makes me think they have another one now. They can't exile enough cards with Murktide that Clothis won't do anything, but Clothis does trigger Murktide and make it bigger. Okay, we got an EI here. Spinning a counterspell. Fuck yeah, Cavern of Souls. Found the land. Do you have the Murktide? Almost certainly. Yep, 2 mana has been tapped. So I can exile Dress Down or Mishra's Bauble, which don't trigger Murktide, but do trigger Clothis. Though I believe I am dead anyway. 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, not quite dead anyway. Realm Walker, okay. I'm going to exile Dress Down. I gain life, you lose life. And I could get Realm Walker going here. Or I could Visionary, and if I draw any land, I can War Master as well. Maybe I just have to invest in the future with Archdruid. They have 6 cards in hand. I don't think I have much of a future. All right, I'm going to Visionary and try to spike Heritage Druid or another land. Heritage Druid. Oh, Nettle Sentinel. All right, well, it's not nothing. Okay, DRC is currently sleepy. I am not in a position where I want to just sacrifice if Llanowar or an Elvish Visionary to deal 1 damage. 8, 9, and 11. If they can get Delirium, which 7 cards in hand, I'm sure they can figure it out. Any instant or sorcery gives them Delirium. Engineered Explosives on 2. Well, that's my whole board. Fuck. They put me to 4 and then kill all but 1 of my creatures. The only card I have that can challenge what they're doing at all is, I guess if I Heritage Druid my way into a Thrasta, they're actually dead. Because they have to tap out a counterspell if they want to Engineered Explosives. Alright, Elvish Mystic is not what I'm looking for here. I want to exile Murktide Regent. Because if I exile a counterspell, that grows their Regent. If I exile Bauble, they can get Delirium back with Explosives. So I'm going after Regent. Was I supposed to go after a land to get mana? Is that possible? I guess it's very possible that that was true. Well, I didn't find Heritage Druid or Endurance anyway. Endurance I couldn't cast with my mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I can animate Clothis. Like I'm one devotion away, but they can rip 3 devotion off the board at any time. Yeah, this is a bad scene for our hero. Don't have a way to gain any more life. Would 1 more mana have helped me here? If I just made green, I can go Elvish Mystic, Elvish Archdruid. I think my only chance at this game actually was making green, playing Realm Walker, and hoping Heritage Druid was on top of my deck. I don't see a line otherwise. Like, there's no reach, there's no removal, no life gain available. Okay, yeah. We're dead. That Engineered Explosives was really good. And just having mono 2 drops here. Oh well. That has to be the nightmare matchup. Like, I think that's even worse than like a fast combo deck or something. I would rather play against Living End probably than this shit. On to the next one. I have won a die roll. This is not a drill. I'm going to keep and lead on Nettle Sentinel. The Nykthos is actually pretty bad here. But maybe it doesn't matter. I have enough colorless pips in my hand that I can put it to work. And let me just make sure Elvish War Master is 1 or more other elves. Yes, okay. All right. Just checking. If War Master triggered off itself and brought a friend, that would be A, be a pretty cracked 2-drop, and B, would make me want to lead on Heritage Druid. Birds of Paradise off Beseiju. And exiled multiple Ludus Blooms. My god. What's going on over there? I don't think you exile your Lotus Blooms in a Tameshi deck, but if they just happen to be in your opener, maybe you do. Or this is some sort of Belcher, but Belcher wouldn't have Sage. I don't know what's going on right now. But I do know that I drew my redundant copy of my legendary land. Luckily, I don't think that's going to mess up my hand too badly, but any little bit hurts. I would rather see Lotus Bloom in exile than in the graveyard, that's for sure, after round 1. Right, Hallowed Fountain Beseiju. Hallowed Fountain is Tameshi business. Alright, Tameshi confirmed. Okay, this is a 2/3 creature. So big. Azuri is a good one. Okay, Heritage Druid goes first, which makes an elf, and then I make 3 mana, which makes War Caller. Which untaps Nettle Sentinel. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I get to War Call, and then I get to Heritage Druid again, which gives me Elvish Archdruid, which makes an elf from the second War Master, which gives me 3 for Heritage Druid again. 3 for Heritage Druid, and then that lets me... Do I want to tap Nykthos right now? That lets me overrun. Oh, I have the other Nykthos in my hand. Is that helpful? I don't think so. Oh, I'm gonna take my free money here. Play Azuri, who does have an overrun in the bag. And I guess I will overrun right now. At least get in with my Nettle Sentinel. The rest of them don't have haste or are tapped, unfortunately. But those Lotus Blooms come down next turn. They need to go off or stabilize right now, because I actually have the turn 4 Goldfish. Do they also have the turn 4? Oh god, am I getting war gated right now? Oh no! What's the last card in hand? Is it Colossus? Is it Eladamri's Call? I mean, there's only 2 lands to bounce here. They can replay one of the... Still have their land drop for the turn. Oh no! Oh no, it's happening. I feel like this deck needs more graveyard hate if this is going to be a thing. Just a couple more endurance in the 75 would go a long way. Yeah, replay the land. This gives you another hit off Lotus Bloom. Oh, right. And you get to draw a card the first time you bounce a permanent with Tameshi, so there's 2 hits in hand now. And they are still going. Well, they must have found something. Arboreal Grazer. That's more mana. Oh god, what is this last card? What is it? What's in the box? And I guess on these low resources, even a Colossus isn't necessarily a W on its own. Okay, especially now that there's no lands in play, Colossus will die immediately. Eladamri's Call. Did get Colossus, so the Colossus will die, but then they do get to draw cards and stuff. Yeah, the cards are worth more than the Colossus body right now. Right, that dies, but they get to... Their cards in hand are both lands. They get to draw at least 2. 1, 2, 3. And only 3. We find another Colossus. Okay, the wheels are spinning here. Making red mana this time. We have a Goblin Engineer. Does that win somehow? Or is that just an enabler? Is it also a payoff? I don't know. I don't know the list. Portable Hole. Okay, they can exile a 2 or less, so they can't hit Azuri, which is the important one. They can hit Nykthos, but joke's on them. I drew my redundant Nykthos. Gonna get a forest here. And Portable Hole's probably... Oh, they're out of white mana. And the last card in hand was Lotus Bloom. We did it. We did it. We did it. Okay. We're actually gonna win a game. Re-Nykthos. 8 mana. And elves get large and tramply. Yeah. Alright. Could have tapped Archdruid to activate Azuri additional times. Okay. All it took was a mull to 5 that also exiled 3 Lotus Blooms. So like a mull to 2 and a whiff on a combo turn. That's all it took. No big deal. Alright, Endurance coming in. Void Mirror is good if they ever suspend Lotus Bloom, but I guess it's not even good because if it gets countered, goes straight to the graveyard, then they can just combo anyway. So Endurance and Revoker are coming in. The Blood Moons did not really help last time, but I don't think that means I don't want them. My opponent just comboed straight through a Blood Moon, but I can see games where it would actually matter. I think I'm just cutting the storm stuff, bringing in the interaction stuff, and that's my plan. Okay, I have a turn 2 Magus of the Moon. If Moon is good in the matchup, this is the hand that can make it happen. There's a Bloom. Just going to lead on Forest and Llanowar Elves here. Fetching in response, please get a non-basic. All right, Rockrin Triome. You wanted red mana? Finger on the monkey paw curls. Tilt. Basic Forest, so good. Wow, they had Fire Ice. Just fired my guy. My bro. Well, at this point, I'm going to play War Master. Because I can just cast Magus next turn. Normal. And if I draw Heritage Druid, I can cast both. Okay. They can fetch a basic in response here. Maybe I don't even want a Magus. If I Llanowar Elf, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available. I can board for 2, which does get Revoker. All right, yeah, that's the line. Llanowar Elf brings an elf, and I can chord for 2, which gets Revoker. Maybe I just want to revoke Lotus Bloom now. Yeah, revoking Lotus Bloom sounds better than revoking Tameshi. Fetching now. And hopefully that spent Fire Ice delivers some fury. I'm going to chord with Bloom on the stack, I think. Bloom is on the stack. Chord for 2. Get Revoker, name Lotus Bloom. Bang. Hope this sticks. Hope it's good. It's all I got. It's literally all I can do. Don't have another removal spell, please. This deck has a lot of basics in it. Oh, we're getting a turn. Seems like they can't currently answer the Revoker. Okay. I'm going to Manamorphose for green-red. Green-red. There's Nettle Sentinel and Heritage Druid. I'll play Heritage Druid. Get a bonus elf. Play Nettle Sentinel. Did I board in... Right, Klothys is not here. The only red card I would need is additional. Yeah, I'm going to fetch another green mana here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I just win? Elves get... Oh, that costs 7. All right, never mind. I thought that was a 5 mana play. JK, I'm off it. Here's Magus of the Moon. Okay. Do I think there is like a flash creature like Endurance? Well, I can't cast Endurance anyway. I guess I just attack with everything and hope there's not a flash creature. Wargate's a sorcery. I don't have to worry about that. Okay. All right. I've presented lethal. Go. Eladamri's Call in the end step. All right. What do we got that can function on red, green, white? Can't cast Tameshi. Could get something that kills Revoker. I don't know. How robust can the creature package actually be in a deck that's also a land package? I don't know. Apparently, if you're serious about Modern, you should know exactly how this deck works, because I've played against it twice in 4 games. Got Goblin Engineer. Okay, that's just like a thing you can do with red mana. But it does not save you from the wrath of my elves. Oh no, they had the fire. Killing my best 2 creatures. This unlocks Tameshi and also... Shit, alright. Well, 1 card in hand is Goblin Engineer. And they get 1 draw of Tameshi. And I guess I'm F6'd and just hope that this works. They must have drawn that Fire Ice, right? Or else they just win last turn. Disappointed. Okay, what do we got? A Wargate for 7. This can get Colossus. Get to reload here. This deck is powerful. I knew this like was a thing that people were doing. I know I've said that a few times already, but like I have not actually seen it in action. And just I know I'm not offering a ton of resistance. Like maybe Lightning Bolt on Tameshi just breaks this up. But yeah, this is good stuff when it's allowed to Goldfish. We got a Colossus to stick this time. The second Colossus has made an appearance. And, yep, Finale does the trick. Yeah, that just came down to can they remove my Revoker or not? A Revoker is my best piece of interaction. Turns out that Blood Moon actually does almost nothing against this deck, so I'm gonna get off of that and bring the Storm things back in. To get some extra damage and some extra velocity here, at least get all the Manamorphoses back in. Like, this is kind of corny, and this is like the type of thing that new players who don't really understand how decks work say, but like putting Manamorphose in my deck, making it into kind of a 56 card deck and have more chances to find my lines to Revoker, I think is actually sort of like the YOLO home run swing that I need to make in this matchup. Because Endurance might do a little bit, and Phyrexian Revoker does a lot, but that's really all I got going on in the matchup. And I don't know if I have time to do Elvish Visionary stuff. Like, maybe I should get a second Thrasta in here and just try to lean in on comboing and just real pressure on them. I'm on the play. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Just add a bigger body here. This one I'm keeping. I have a turn 2 Archdruid. I have Heritage Druid and Nykthos. Give me an opportunity to explode into this Azuri. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm on the pod race plan right now. Start with the Llanowar Elves, of course, as one does. What do we got? Nothing. That doesn't really mean anything. I'm going to cast Archdruid. That at least plays around Fire Ice, because it grows my other creature while being a 2/2 itself. Not going to get a 2-for-1 here. Like, I could have gone... Oh, wait. Did I just fuck this up? I could have gone Mystic, Heritage Druid, tap those 3 for Archdruid. Oh my god, yeah. I just, like, blanked. And I drew the Mystic this turn, right? Yeah. I was tunnel visioned on getting Archdruid down, but I could have gone way wider. Oh god, if I lose now, I deserve it. I could have done, like, big Azuri stuff this turn, but instead I'm just not going to do that. Okay, Elvish Mystic. And how hard can I go right now? Cavern on Elf. I think this is where I deploy Heritage Druid. And then make 3 mana, which casts Elvish Visionary. Collected Company. Not upset to see that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 5 mana here. 5. So I have 6 in the pool. 3 can cast Azuri. And then I can Nykthos into the Collected Company with 5 floating. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I have it. I would love to Visionary into Thrasta off of this Coco. That would be hot. War Master and basically nothing else. I guess I'm taking Nettle Sentinel for the combo potential. War Master and Nettle Sentinel. Okay. Put them in. And those are all my things. Azuri doesn't give haste. Azuri gives trample. War Master gives death touch. There's nothing to really do with this mana. All right. And I'm just going to pass with lethal on the board. If they can Wargate into Lotus Bloom casts Tameshi, still a mana short. Yeah, that was the big turn 3 that we needed for this matchup if we have a chance at all. Fairy Time Raveler. That doesn't seem like it's going to help. I genuinely cannot imagine what card they have here that could be even a little bit good. I have basically infinite mana here. I'm just going to cast Azuri, which is coming through the cavern, so I don't even have to worry about a counterspell. Whoops. Probably should have floated some mana there. But here's this, and then I can activate Archdruid, which activates Nykthos, which activates Azuri 3 times. Didn't even need all 3, but I'm taking them. All right, we got the GGs in the chat. Attack my opponent with all creatures. Woo. On the board, just with elves. No appearance of Thrasta, though it would have been fucking sick this game. Just did not appear. Okay. Finally, threw enough shit at the wall that some of it stuck. On to the final round. I won the die roll again, and this hand is distressingly fair and slow. We're going to keep it. The 2 chords and the Nick, like the second Nykthos is a beating, but I do have draw steps before I have to chord. I can chord for 1 with what I have available. And there's a lot of great rips here. What are we up against? Show me the Tameshi again. Arbor Elf. All right, probably not Tameshi then. Though maybe it could be. I don't know. Very disappointing follow-up turn 2 here. I'm not going to attack into this Arbor Elf. I need the help, I think, more than they do. Cyclave Apparition. Yeah, that's pretty good. See you later, Heritage Druid. Missouri. Okay. All right. A real creature emerges. Okay. I hope they regret spewing off the Skyclave and hope they don't have another one. Oh, God. 4 mana. Collected Company. Here they come. Maybe they'll miss. Just nothing in there. Put 6 cards on the bottom. Please. Heliod and Conclave Mentor. That's a combo of some sort, isn't it? You gain life equal to its power. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target. Return enchantment. All right, we're very close to getting comboed out here. Heritage Druid, I am not unhappy to see. What can I chord for in my main deck that helps me here? Almost nothing. I can play Heritage Druid and then chill on chord and try to win next turn. I think that's what I have to do. All right, please don't kill me this turn. Auriok Champion. That's really annoying. Holy shit. Looking very dead here. Spike Feeder. Okay, so you have infinite mana and infinite attack power. Or not mana, infinite life and infinite attack power. Is there anything I can do about that? Not in the main deck, no. Okay, fine. I'm not beating infinite life. I will be honest about that. I'm not going to make my opponent click through this. Yeah, the sideboard would have benefited from some dismembers at multiple points in the game. We saw a lot of basic lands over there. Revoker, of course. Rex Sage, unfortunately, does not help me beat Heliod, who is indestructible. Endurance doesn't seem particularly potent. Oh, this matchup feels horrendous. I think on the play, I have to just go as fast as I can. Every 1-drop, Realm Walker. Fucking, sorry, Thrasta. So I think Manamorphose is worse than Thrasta in this configuration if I'm trying to go fast with Realm Walker, but I still only have 1 of that card. I can shave a Thrasta, get a Manamorphose back in. Okay. I'm not feeling good about this one. Yeah, just a couple of dismembers would go a long way. And I'm talking about just in an elf deck. I'm not even talking about Thrasta, who unfortunately has not really added anything to the deck at any point. I will keep this. And do I want life or do I want mana? I'll take some life. Let's go. I think I could have timed this opponent out, but I'm just not going to play to that. Not in a league where nothing's on the line. Whatever. I am pretty content to offer this trade. Their mana is way more important than my life total. Oh. I'm going to Visionary now. War Master, okay. That's a pretty good one. Of course, now they play a game plan that would just collapse the Blood Moon. Blood Moon would knock the Utopia Sprawls off, and they can't untap their forests. Oh my god, they have so much white mana right now. Apparition. Kind of a low impact apparition. Heritage Druid? Not quite. Alright, Nykthos, cast War Master, and Llanowar Elves. Okay, here are my creatures. Am I combo killed or are you combo killed? I need another turn of development, so they have 2 turns to figure this out. Might not even need those. Ranger Cap can get Walking Ballista, which even just as Walking Ballista is really good. Get a second Skyclave Apparition. That makes my life even harder. Yeah, Ballista for just X is enough next turn, even if they don't have the whole combo. Ugh, this Collected Company is tough. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if I play Nettle Sentinel, I can't get to Coco through the Nykthos. That's still only 3 mana because the elf doesn't have a mana cost. I guess I should have Coco'd main phase, but I can try to do it on their turn, try to snipe something. They sack this Ranger Captain, I can Coco in response. And really, all I'm looking for is Revoker. Okay, there's Heliod, who is a creature. Alright, here comes Ballista, and it's basically Coco hits Revoker right now, or I lose. Come on, Revoker. Just one Heritage Druid. One Heritage Boy. Alright, yeah, we're dead. Oh, there's Thrasta and Metamorphose, which is why I shaved the Cocos. At least I was right on that deck building axis. Feels wrong to be right when you hit the back end of why you were right. But yeah, Collected Company revealing Thrasta and Metamorphose, which would have been 3 mana creatures if this was just a normal elf deck. I think it is safe to conclude 2 separate things from this league. One is that Elves does not quite hang with present day Modern. Even when I did draw the elf half of the deck and didn't see a Metamorphose or Thrasta, the deck was still kind of anemic and just got bullied. Like I said in the deck tech, the Metamorphose and Thrastas would have been like tutor bullets that might have been able to help engage in those unwinnable matchups otherwise, if they weren't already dedicated to this dinosaur thing. So I think the dinosaur thing is just not where you want to be at all. It was a cool idea, but the problem is that if you don't have Heritage Druid, Thrasta is basically uncastable. If you put cards like Metamorphose or Search for Tomorrow or whatever in your deck to help cast Thrasta, then your elf plan gets worse, which also dilutes Heritage Druid and Collected Company. And Collected Company is basically the reason to want to be a creature deck. So I think that while the idea that adding this big monster to like a go tall monster to a go wide strategy would create another axis your opponent has to fight the game on, it actually just eroded the primary axis that your deck is even trying to function on. So that just, it hurt way more than it helped. And obviously this is a small sample size, just 5 matches, but I think we could get a feel for what's going on here, and that it is not where you want to be. As far as building elves, like if we're going to ignore Thrasta and just try to play elves in the metagame, there's a bunch of different combinations of splash colors and stuff available that I saw while I was doing my research for this deck. And I would want some number of dismembers or just some way to kill a creature. Like we just got mushed by Tameshi multiple times where I think a dismember wins the game. And those Arbor Elves in the last round just have some way to interact with an opposing creature, because in the busted landscape that is Modern, just having a turn 3 or 4 Goldfish is not even that good. There are decks that are doing that while interacting also, so you need to do better than just going out fast with Heritage Druid and Llanowar Elves. And that is where I'm going to have to leave this one. I'm going to give this league the Thomas Edison Award, where we didn't fail, we just learned something that doesn't work. Ryan, thank you for sending me down this road. I played Thrasta, so you don't have to. If you want to build an actual Green Storm deck dedicated to Thrastaing, that's a totally different thing, but tucking it into the Elves shell did not add the dimension that we hoped it would. Lesson learned. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and merch, all those things, and I'll see you for the next one.